This is episode 182 of the Double Cross Anime podcast. I'm Whooper, and here's Mario.
Hey guys, how are you?
All right, spring 2025 anime. If you're a regular follower of this channel, this podcast, you may have heard some chatter here and there across various episodes that I was very much looking forward to this season,
hmm
and I guess this will be the test or the revelation of whether that optimism was justified. We've got 10 shows here that we're going to talk about, which we arrived on by, each of us picking the ones we were most interested in.
Yep,
And we'll rank them 1 to 10, 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. Same as always. You know the drill by this point.
yep.
I will say right off the bat, some of the shows that I liked the most
hmm
from this season so far, and I'm not done watching all the premieres, but some of the ones that I've seen so far that I've liked the most are not going to be discussed here today.
Oh, all right. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think I got some show that not in these 10 that I watched for our blog and I really enjoy as well.
Hmm.
So I would say the same like Anne Shirley because we do the Anne Postcard classic at the same time. So I do think that it's good that we give that space of Shirley to like one of these 10 shows. But I watched the first episode and I kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I also liked Apocalypse Hotel.
All right, Apocalypse Hotels.
Yeah, it's a comedy about robots running a hotel after the end of the world, where humanity has all of humanity have, like, I don't know, gone underground or gone into space. Um, Nobody's left, so they just continue to keep the hotel operational in the hopes that humanity will eventually return. I
Yep.
enjoyed that one a lot.
Hmm.
What
For me,
else?
I enjoy a ninja and an assassin under one roof. It's the new
Okay,
show
I
from
have I have
Sharp.
not seen that. I've not seen
Yeah.
that yet.
All right. I didn't even know that it was made by Sharp until after I watched it, and
Yeah.
so it was a really nice surprise for me. Oh wait, like
Well, I
Sharp.
mean, the all the PVs and stuff that I saw, it didn't look very shafty.
Hmm.
Not
It
not in the way that
yeah
they're like Hitomari Sketch or Zetsubo Sensei or Pani Pony
yeah
Dash, like all their 2000s comedies.
yeah. Hmm.
It didn't look it didn't have that style to it. But I
Yeah,
haven't
but
seen the episode yet, so maybe some of their old directing style carries over
yeah,
to it. I don't think Shinbo was involved with it.
I see. So yep. But what are the 10 shows that we're gonna talk now? So can you
Yeah,
just run them
we do
through?
have to move on to those eventually. We can't just blab about the Ninja Show and the Apocalypse Show all day.
Yeah,
We'll save those for another time. Since there
yeah.
are other shows that we're enjoying, it's possible that the three highest scoring, or in this case lowest scoring, shows from this discussion won't be the three that we end up covering towards the end of this
hmm
season. But
Yep,
I guess we'll see. We'll see about that. For now,
yep,
though, we are going to talk about these 10 shows, and we're going to do it in reverse alphabetical order as per
yep.
Mario's request,
Request.
because he's, that's his domain.
Just to shaking up.
Yeah, he's keeping you guys on your toes.
Yeah,
You don't know
yeah,
us.
yeah.
So since we
Yeah,
are going in reverse alphabetical order, what is the first show that we will discuss?
yeah. So that show gonna be Zatsu Tabi. That's Journey.
Kind of an interesting
That's
title
Journey.
because that's Journey doesn't really make any
Any
sense.
sense? Yeah, yeah.
But hey,
So
that's Japanese.
yeah. So I think we got like one of these travel log shows where basically they just travel to some location in Japan and then uh they make notes of like uh the real places, and that's it. I think it's like
Yeah,
the
and even saying
good of the
they
show.
do that isn't really accurate because at this point it's just one girl who
Yeah,
does it,
yeah,
and she's mostly talking to herself for the
yeah.
whole episode.
All right, we actually got a bit of her backstory. So at the beginning, we know that she a mangaka. She one of the promised one, but she got like a few draft and got returns. So she decided to just like get up the next day and go to some places to refresh her mind.
Yeah, I mean she's 18 years old. At
Yeah,
some point in this episode, she mentions that, and there's also there's a particular shot where um, she gets this idea that she might want to go on a like a day trip because journey is a little bit of a misnomer. I feel she
yeah, yeah, yeah.
well she does stay over at the hotel, doesn't she, or does she not?
Just no, no, she does just for the one night. So
Okay,
yeah,
not just a day
uh,
trip then, a little bit more of a journey.
uh,
Um,
yeah,
but there's a shot where she's still in her apartment at this point, and she's thinking that she wants to go on this trip, but
yeah,
then all of the reasons that she might not like the things that might hold her back start appearing on screen as text with
yeah,
her kind of
yeah,
in the center, and one of them had to do with like college. So I think she might be a college student.
yeah. That we don't know for sure.
Yeah, I feel like
Um,
we don't know much about her at all.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Except that she really like manga. She really like creating manga, but she hitting the block at the moment.
Yeah. I just I don't really connect with her as a character in this episode, which is bad news because she was really the only character of
Yeah,
note in this episode. Um, like the way that she decides to go on a journey just because she hears about it on TV and then uses her phone to put up a poll on Twitter about which direction she should go. Like I don't know.
up, up, down.
Yeah. It
Up.
felt a little artificial to me, honestly. Like
Yeah,
someone was making her like she was a character in a video game, and
yeah.
a
She
poll was
she
put up
just
to see where the character would have to go.
it interesting that we have another show in this 10 that having like one of the mangaka doing a kind of like in that show it's like the 4 format, but it's more like they just recall she just recall what really going on with the other kids, the other high school kids, and I think this show is like that, you know.
I mean, they both have some Eurocamp influence, I suppose.
Yep,
But the show that you're talking about, Mono,
yep,
is based on a manga by the creator of Eurocamp, and I feel like it has more of that show's DNA because it's livelier.
mm,
Zatsu Tabi is.
mm.
Oh, I just got that Zatsu is how a Japanese person would pronounce that's. Zatsu.
So
Zatsujani.
all right, so
Tabi meaning
that's
journey.
journey. So that's literal,
Yeah.
literal translation.
Yeah. I guess. Um, that just occurred to me.
Yeah,
This show is, it's not as, it doesn't have as much spring in its step as Mono
yeah,
or
mm,
Eurocamp for that matter. It's a lot. I don't know. Probably because at this point it's just the one main character. We see that there are going to be other characters brought into the fold because whenever she like posts on social media, there's a trio of other
yeah,
girls in their own respective like apartments or
yeah,
living their own lives who
yeah,
are subscribed to her feed. I guess
yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like silly saying stuff like this because can we get off the phone, please? And if you're gonna take a journey, can we really take one?
Yeah. All right. She the have ones that she mentioned was her sensei. And I remember like in the plot, the sensei is the one who uh, actually just forward that poll to so that everyone just chime in to vote for where's he gonna go for the journey.
Right. Was which one of
Yeah,
those three girls was
I
her sensei?
I yeah I assume it's the blonde hair girl. She's look a bit
Okay.
older than the rest.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, perhaps. Um, and I don't know. I don't have much to say about this
right.
show.
How
The
did you like the places like and it looked like photorealistic to me.
Yeah, it looks like they did what Eurocamp got caught doing, where they used like Google Earth Street View. They
And
took
then just put a
photographs.
character into it because
Yeah.
I distinctively remember one of the scenes where I think the girl she came to see the temple and you got like the stair and she just standing there looking at it and I was like she looks really out of place compared to compared to the rest.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate because the one of the benefits of that sort of technique, like using photographs,
Yeah,
um, and having them on hand, is that you're not like waiting for the background art department. As the key
yep,
animator, you can actually see the environment that your character will be in, like a finished version of it.
yeah,
Um, so then, if you draw your character into that world, and that it looks like their eyes are kind of unfocused and not uh, perceiving what they're supposed to be perceiving, then that's a problem. I've
yep,
From time to time I kind of got that sense that there was some disconnect between the character and the environment, but I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a huge problem for me. I could criticize the show
mm,
for it, but this is the approach that it's taking,
yep,
So I just will leave that alone, I guess. It's kind of
mm,
cool to like if you're treating the show as a bit of a travelogue, that perhaps some of the people watching it can get recommendations from or be inspired to visit some of those places. Then the fact that the backgrounds do look photorealistic is I mean, it could be good for them because they'll be
yeah,
like, oh, that's what this place
yeah.
looks like. I want to go there myself.
Or even like when they get into the place they was like this is the real shot, this is like the real thing, so I gonna take this shot and compare that to the anime.
Yeah. Oh,
I just
I see what you're
yeah
talking about
I
here. I pulled up the photo that you just sent me over Skype.
yeah
Um,
that
and this is one of our last times ever recording on Skype. Rest in peace. Um, beginning next month. Yeah, this I remember this shot did kind of catch my eye as being like,
yeah
well, I don't know. I'm not really buying it, but
all right
it's
yeah
cool. Like it looks like a cool place, so it's got that going for it
it
at least.
it does yeah all right
But
so
as for the show, I
at
don't
the
know. I
end
don't
of
know how cool I
yeah
feel that it is. Like when she was climbing those steps, um,
hmm
and it was supposed to be like 1,227 steps or something, and along the way, there were different
right
statues that kind of marked her progress, and the show would put like different, I don't know whether they were kanji or katakana or whatever they were. They would put up the symbols of the words for different emotions that she was experiencing on her trek up all these stairs.
ah
And I just
yeah
wasn't really. That seemed like the sort of thing that Eurocamp would do, and I was like, man,
hmm
this show's not measuring up. It's just one girl on her own individual like solo journey. Um,
yeah
but I feel like I hardly know her, and whether or not she's having a good time, not really that important to me. This show just kind of
yeah
washed over me, honestly, and I
right
didn't even get any water in my
uh
ears. I just feel no different.
All right. That's a bit harsh, but I kind of still enjoy this show. But if you tell me if I want to watch like the whole season of that, I'm not sure. So I think I will give this show maybe a few more chance, like until the 3 episodes, and see if I want to go along with it. Otherwise,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I mean, there are more
So
characters to meet. This show is not,
yeah, that's
you
true.
know, taken the form that it'll eventually
Yeah.
take. Not yet.
All right. So what ranking that you put for the show, Cooper?
10th.
Oh wow, mine is 8.
Okay. That's not that
Yeah.
different.
All right. So I think we are pretty good track of doing that in the reverse alphabetical orders because we get the bad one out of the way. Let's
I guess
go with
so.
the next one then.
Yeah, what would that be?
Which watch? Which watch?
Wikiwachi. Yep. Uh, this show's
All right.
pretty cute.
Yeah, I would say that I have fun with that. It's not the kind of show that I was expecting different thing when like I look at the trailer and look at uh not the premise. I actually go into it live, but it's more slap life and it's more romance going on,
I think it'll mostly
which I
end
don't
up
mind.
being a comedy.
Comedy, yeah, that's
I
as
think
well, yeah,
so. I mean, I
yeah.
don't know. I didn't attend the Witch Watch party.
Which one
The
funny,
first three
right?
episodes of this show were put in theaters, so people could go and
All right.
get a preview of it. The same way that recently the Gundam GQuuuuuX, its first three
Yeah.
episodes were kind of like rearranged and made into a movie
Hmm.
and put into theaters as well. I guess the whoever's distributing those shows is making a big push for that over here.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did not go to the Witch Watch party, so I don't know, what its primary genre will be going forward. But I feel like it's probably going to be comedy after this episode because
Yeah.
most of what pushes the story of this individual episode forward is the weird spells that Nico casts and how she and Moi, I guess I'll call him Moi,
Yeah. Yeah. Boy.
uh, how they have to work to undo them, or work
Yeah.
around them or whatever.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah. I
what's
kind
the
of
guy's actual name? It's like Morihito.
Morihito. Yeah.
Yeah, but she calls him Moi because as a little girl, because they're childhood friends. Of course, they're
Yeah.
childhood friends. She
Boy.
couldn't pronounce his name, so she called him Morihito, or just
Yeah.
Moi.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I can get the concept. So she's the witch, so she have to have familiar, and he's not the typical human because he's like half orc oni and half human,
Yeah,
and that's why he can become her familiar, and yeah, and that put us that doesn't really answer the fact that she having a crush on him, and they are childhood friend and all that.
and they're gonna live together in the same house with no adult
Oh yeah,
supervision.
yeah, yeah, that yeah, that too. Oh my god,
I can't
the more
remember
we
the reason for Moi's dad leaving. I remember his
um
whole explanation of
I
the
have
fact
to
that
work
he's going to be her.
overseas.
Oh, is that what he says? Just the
But
straight up anime
yeah, the way I
excuse?
said, yeah, I have to go to, overseas for work. So you have to stay with her. You have to
Right.
protect her. And this is the second show that we have that I seen in this season that we have the witch who is cursed to die a year later, or you know bad thing gonna happen to her.
Wait, what's the other one?
The other one is in the title as well. I think it's something along the line with a witch who got cursed or who will die in a year or something.
That's the
Let me
title?
look it up. That's the title. Let me look
I
it
mean,
up.
I do remember like a witch themed show from this season. I haven't seen it. Um, but it's about like the relationship between the elderly witch and the trainee. I thought was kind of the focus
Right.
of it.
No. Yeah. Once upon a witch dead. That's
Yeah,
the title show.
I do remember a show having that localized title. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Have not seen it though. I think Witch Watch will
Yeah. Yeah. I
I'm probably set on that
the better one. Mm,
if I had to guess.
yeah.
It's not. There's lots of tropes in this episode. The dad
Mm,
has to go work overseas. The this is essentially a magical girlfriend show. Like my goddess, and along those lines, because she's a witch
yeah.
who comes to live with him, and
Yeah.
he has to be her bodyguard and stuff. But I think the show gets away with it.
And
Like she's got
yeah.
a
And
little
he has
crush
to
on
be
him, but
the
she's not horribly awkward about it.
yeah.
She's every so often we just hear her think to herself, he's so cool, you know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
And
It's
yeah.
not overbearing or anything.
Yeah. And he's supposed to be the strip man as well. So he's supposed to like clean up her mess and just try to get her out of troubles. And she the one who really want to like to do the power to save people and all that.
Yeah, the way she explains it, like it's
So
part of her magical development, is that she has to
mm,
be like, she can't stay hidden away forever. She has to be part of society, use her magic to help others and stuff like
yeah.
that. Or else she might go dark. She might get drawn to the dark side of magic if she just hides away forever.
Yeah.
So that's yet another kind of convenience that the show has
Yeah.
created for itself. Like if you were to examine the show super logically, you might think, well, why doesn't she just train at a special magical school? Why doesn't she go to Hogwarts and go to take classes for 7 years until she's totally ready? Well,
There is no which school. Maybe that's the reason. We don't know yet.
she was at like the Holy Land or something.
Holy
I
Land,
seem
yeah.
to I seem to remember some bit of dialogue about she was at the Holy Witch Land where she was learning to get a grip on her powers. But now she's got to come here and live with her childhood friend and go to school. I'm sure enroll in school and be a constant disruption to her teachers.
Yep. Yeah, which I don't mind. I think some of the humor, the comedy in the episode work for me. Like the one with the cup, with the broken cup. I really like that. For the one
the
that they aim for comedy, it doesn't really work that well for me.
What part doesn't work very well?
The bit later on, the bit where like they have to make themselves light. So
Ah,
like they pretty much hide, and then they just laughing and all that, and then they got like a bad hangover later on.
right. Well, after a spell is cast to make them heavy again.
Yep, yep, yep.
So it affects not only their mass but also their disposition.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was fine. I don't see myself
Hmm.
really busting a gut laughing at the show.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
it'll have to
Fair enough.
rely in addition to all the silly magical spells she casts and all the problems that'll pose for all the other characters. It's gonna have to rely on just a general like good-natured tone.
Hmm. Yep.
With her being kind of silly and klutzy, but also trying her best, and her childhood friend being kind of exasperated with her, but also wanting her to succeed. Because at some point in
Yep.
this episode, he does kind of make some sort of pledge, like, "I'm gonna support you. You're gonna be the best witch ever. I'm gonna help you achieve that."
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
so he's a nice guy, even though
Yep.
he has the strength of an ogre.
Yep. And I love the way that he doesn't really express himself as well. So he's a good voice for Nico, who always want to express herself, very expressive. So, yep, good do.
Mm.
All right, what ranking that you put for which watch?
I gave it sixth.
I give it 6 as well.
Okay. Mm, mm, mm,
All
mm.
right, the next one gonna be interesting. Vigilante, My Hero Academia spin-off.
Right. Yeah. I kind of bought into the hype of this show being a spinoff and it being like a second chance for My Hero
All
Academia
right.
to impress me. But
Yep.
I wasn't particularly impressed by it. I thought, it was all right.
All
Um,
right. Yep. My impression was also really the same. It's all right. It still have like all the familiar bit that we know from the show. Like we got this guy who a bit of an underdog, but he want to help people, but he doesn't really confident in his skill to do that. And then we got like he get into the fight where he had to save the people, and there's like this guy who want to do justice but in the wrong way as well. So
hmm?
I think that
Oh,
guy
you mean
he
you're
can
talking about
learn
Knuckle
one of.
Duster, the vigilante?
Yeah, Knuckle Duster, yeah. He because I think the thing that interests me the most in this episode is that uh, we see the gray area of how he the thing. Like he could be a hero uh in one circumstances, but in the others he might be a villain. So I think it's a good way to just like get to see the way he do, and yeah, and just see if he if he ever trying to do justice, but the wrong way. So I think this is a good concept, but the character themselves is really planned and one note for me. All the characters.
Well, the protagonist has the disadvantage of being like a Shonen Jump guy. He
Uh-huh.
he just has the same personality, from what I can tell, as Deku from My Hero Academia. Even though he's in college,
Hmm.
he just he has a lot of nervous energy, and he's kind of like he has a yelpy tone of voice, and he's always getting into um, I don't know, beefs with these really cliched bully characters. And yeah, I mean, it's just, if you read enough shonen manga or watch enough of their adaptations, it's something you get tired of.
Hmm.
And that's the cloth that he's cut from. So I don't know what else there was to do, I suppose, for the author
Yep.
of this series. I don't know what, maybe they felt like maybe they didn't think about it at all. Maybe that's just so like baked into the Japanese way of thinking about like hero comics or
I
shonen
like the
comics in
way
general.
I like the way that he his quote is like uh his started as well, because his quote is to move, but he had to really lay low in the crowd, so
Yeah.
people keep looking down on him. I think that's a good way to express like his ability and his even like social status in there, and he envies the the pop idol girl who is have the quote where people have to look up. Like, so there's a thought that put into their quote, as opposed to their personality. I'm thinking about him more as the quote that he had, not from his personality.
Yeah. Well, at least his quirk makes sense, I
Yep.
guess. I
Hmm.
can't remember the name that he gave it, but he has to have at
Uh,
least three limbs in contact with the ground
yep.
in order
Yep.
to he kind of like zooms along the the sidewalk.
Hmm.
It's very weird looking.
It is. It is.
But he's able to use it to some degree of effectiveness, I guess. Knuckle Duster sees promise in him, though I don't really know whether he's manipulating him or whether
Yep.
he's just impressed by his spirit
I think
or
it's
whatever.
the former. He
Knuckle
just
Duster
was
is
it.
he's the more interesting character to me.
Yeah, yeah, I
You know,
agree. But the way he do things is also very just hot-headed. He's just charge on. He doesn't really think much. So yes and no on his character.
uh, I don't know why I suggested that we watch this.
No,
I thought it
it's
was
all
going to
right.
be different. I remember
It is.
watching a movie in theaters, an anime movie. I went with Lenlo to see
Yep.
some movie or another, and afterwards we went and got food, and he was talking about how like Vigilantes is what My Hero Academia was always supposed to be. He
All
was like,
right.
this is the promise of the original series fulfilled, and I was like, oh,
Okay.
cool. So I wanted to try it out, but it just ended up being like I doubt I'll watch another
All right.
episode.
All right. That's you blame Lelo for this, okay? For the pick.
No,
I I
I'm
remember
explaining where
like
I got the idea. I
he,
mean, the fault is mine. It's my own fault. I'm just
yeah.
explaining where the idea came from originally. How
I
I
still remember Lelo
got
commented in
hoodwinked.
the in the chat where he really enjoyed these episodes, and we just don't see it.
I thought it was fine. I mean, I did like the use of on-screen text. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I do
for
like
like the
that.
sound
It's
effects of
like
like thwack, punch,
yeah,
biff,
I think
pow,
it's like
stuff like that.
the Spider-Man movies that they do that just to
Oh, I mean, that's been going on
intimate.
long before the
Yeah,
Spider-Verse
yeah, 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 yeah.
films.
I agree.
Um, I'm thinking like whatever the original Superman cartoons, whenever those were
1941.
originally created. 1940? No way.
Yep.
No, I'm not talking about the comic book. I'm talking about the cartoons.
Yeah, the cartoon. I'm pretty sure. I watched some episode of that version.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that TV animation dated back as far as the early 40s.
Nah, it's not for TV at the time, so it's for like short theatrical. So they
Okay,
put
yeah.
that in the theater
Like Looney
before,
Tunes.
yeah, like Looney Tunes, yeah, basically.
Okay.
So it's from the guy who made Popeye and Betty Boop a decade later, and then he decided to do some of the Superman version. So they pretty much have the same plot, but it look totally different from from Looney Tunes, from Popeye, from the rest of the anime land at the time.
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yep. This show, I say the quality is pretty much the quality that I saw in My Hero Academia. So when I watch it, it just it's not boring, at least, but it's but it make me think that because I haven't finished My Hero Academia, I just gonna watch that instead of watching the new spin-off. So it really isn't something that I say my cup of tea, just to put it
Hmm.
very mildly.
All right. Well, that being the case, what'd you rank it?
My ranking is 9 out of 10.
All right. I gave it seventh.
So, all right. Hmm. All right. Shall we go to the next one?
Okay.
All right. Rock wa lady no Tashinami deshite. A rock is
Hmm.
a lady's modesty.
Right. I
This is
think
the
this
first
show is
one.
part of a trend from this season
Yep.
for
From this
shows
season.
that have interesting like opening montages or opening scenes. There's this
Hmm.
show which it kind of cuts back and forth between um, the scenes of one of the girls who attends this like elite prep school uh,
Hmm.
playing the drums, like playing a hard rock uh, drum solo, and it's cutting between that and then a bunch of scenes like around campus of girls talking to each other in very like ladylike fashion about whatever the socially acceptable topics are for students at that school.
Hmm.
And it cuts back and forth between the two. So it's a very attention grabbing way of arranging your first scene. Another show that did that this season, and the reason why I say it's part of a trend is Apocalypse Hotel did something similar.
Hmm.
Um, and
I
I
see.
think there was even maybe a third show that did it, but I can't
Yeah.
remember what it
I
was.
wasn't. Yeah. I wasn't really in tune with that because it
What?
literally
It was
out of
cool.
tune. No, 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 no. It's just the opening scenes because it just like it just a bit disrupted to me. I
Yeah.
think it to its effect because it's supposed to be that way. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I said, it's at the beginning of the show and you don't know what to expect and you got that and I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's the
not sure
point.
if it's intentional or it's really a bad a bad editing from the show, you know.
It's the point. It's supposed to it's supposed to disrupt the status quo, make you uncomfortable,
Yeah.
get the punk spirit in you.
All right. How how the punk performance work for you?
At the end, you mean?
Yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
The use of 3D models combined
Yeah.
with the 2D animation was I thought it was effective.
Mm-hmm.
A drum kit is very hard to animate if you're going to be swiveling the camera.
Yeah.
So you've
I
got to
agree.
make that 3D. And of course the main girl's hair, I can't remember her name. I just have her listed in my notes here as
Oh.
Twin Tails. Her hair is so wild. You got to make that 3D CG as well. Can't be drawing that all the time. It's impossible.
Yeah. Lilisa, that's her name. She remind me
Lily.
of one of yeah Lily. She remind me one of the characters in the Shiki with had that hairs the really spiky hairs in pink.
Boy, that is whenever you compare a character's hair to someone from Shiki, that can't be a compliment. That show just
That's
has the worst hairstyles in all of anime.
yeah. It immediately popped up to my mind. Oh my god, this is the hair that I saw from that show Shiki.
Yeah. Um yeah, I liked the final scene where the two were it was like dueling banjos, but the rock version. They were trying to one up
Yep.
each other constantly.
Yep.
I thought it worked because the reason that Lily got roped into that competition, that you know closing performance at all was because the other girl like taunted her basically, and then she taunts her
Mm,
again after the performance is over, saying that she sucks and all that. So it's her
yeah,
way of trying to secure like a playing partner, I suppose.
yeah,
And also her way of rebelling against this school's expectations for her as the she's like the leading candidate for whatever that title is that Lily wants to achieve
yeah,
to
yeah,
ensure that her future will be prosperous. I can't remember what it was called, like music Madonna or something along those
yeah.
lines.
It's like it's like the Beastar in Beastar.
Oh, I didn't even remember that B Star was the name of like the top student at their academy in that show.
Yeah.
I've
Mm.
forgotten pretty much everything about B Stars,
Oh, that's too
except
bad.
for the fact that the like it all revolves around the wolf wanting to eat the rabbit, but also have sex with the rabbit.
Yeah, yeah. So it's his dilemma, moral dilemma between eating her or have sex with her.
Right.
Good premise for a good show.
Of course. Everybody knows that the tension between hunger and lust is you know,
Just
fundamental
by yeah,
to good teen romance, I guess.
yeah. All right, back to Rock
Personally,
Valley. So we got like
I
yeah,
prefer this the
just
dilemma that these characters in Rockwa Lady
mm-hmm,
are like
yeah,
subject to, I guess. It's just it's like societal and it's less to do with their nature and more to do with the school's expectations for them. They're supposed to be prim and proper,
yeah,
but sometimes a girl just wants to rock.
yeah, yeah. That's true. And we see how Lily just got like really put up by all the expectation even at home because we got the one scene where she just I think yawning at home and her mother just tell her that it's not proper for a lady to do that,
Right.
so she had to
Can
put
you
on
repeat
an
that?
egg
What did
every
she
time.
do that her mom criticized her for? I can't remember.
I think she's just yawning. She just like
Oh, yawning.
yeah, yeah, that's what I
Lady,
remember.
that's a biological phenomenon.
Yep,
Like
yep,
farting.
yep, yep.
You can't be telling people not
But
to fart or yawn.
it's not proper for a lady to do that
Right.
in front of other people.
Yeah.
And
That was a pretty
and
exaggerated
we
version of the show's like overall conflict, I
yeah.
guess.
And we even got the scene where she met the principal, and the principal just reconfirm her that you got to be ladylike because you got to be at the top of the school and then be a proper lady so that you can support your husband, be a perfect wife, and all that. So I think she's gonna be the main obstacle that's gonna uh, try their way to sabotage this rock band when this rock band come to the public.
Yeah. They're going to have to keep it secret and eventually it'll be revealed and then they'll play at the school festival or something. I imagine
Yeah,
that'll be how it
yeah.
goes. But perhaps
But
it'll take a different route. Maybe the band will start performing at like live houses, like small kind of underground venues, and it'll
mhm,
be more about that since they won't be able to keep their practice sessions secret on campus forever. I don't know.
yeah. But I do think that at first they need to recruit some more people because at the moment it's just the drum and the guitarist. So maybe there
Yeah,
will
they
be
need a
some more.
bassist and a vocalist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we actually got a bit flashback from Lily where she got to play the guitar with her dad, but I presume to now deceased. Not sure about that. Uh, but what issue
I don't
is
think
that
it's that
she had to
he's
put that
deceased. I
person away. Yep.
think that something went wrong
Mm,
between her parents, and that's why
yep.
she's kind of bitter about um,
Mm,
I don't know her like her current life versus her former life.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But maybe he is dead. Who knows?
Yep. So yep, I really enjoy the performance at the end. I kind of enjoy these characters and yeah, the forwardness of that. Like when you just get so frustrated, you just want to rock it out. So it just feel good to see she's finally let it out. So yep, really enjoy the show.
Yeah, it was good. I also noticed that in a scene where Lily was being driven home by her chauffeur, she was in the back of a limousine. Out the window, she hears like
Yep.
a street performer playing Linda Linda on
Mm-hmm.
his guitar,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is a real song by a Japanese band called the Blue Hearts. And
Hmm.
I know this because I recently watched the Japanese film Linda Linda Linda
Oh, yep, yep,
about
yep, yep, yep. I heard of.
a high school uh, like a girl band that's formed in high school, and they cover that
Yep.
song. So
Hmm.
then when I heard that song in this anime, I was like, "Whoa!"
Mhm. Is it a good film?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, because I think they have like one of my favorite actress, Yui Aoi, I think
Honestly,
that's the name.
I do not remember. I don't think I even looked up the name of the
Yeah,
actresses or the actors.
yeah. She's the one who yeah, she's the one who is the main actress in Hannah and Alice.
Okay,
Yeah. Anyway,
I see.
I gotta check it out. The movie Linda
Yeah,
Linda Linda.
I liked it. And I also like this anime, so I put it fourth.
Right. I put it for as well.
Aha.
All right. So we were the same slot for this one and with watch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we are on the same mind with the next shows, which is Nazotoki wa Dinner no Atoday, the dinner table detective.
Yeah, this is one of the shows for which I had the highest hopes coming into this
Yeah,
season. I was like,
yeah. It's
oh,
come from
a Josei mystery
Madhouse as
series
well.
based on a bunch of novels.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah,
is gonna be awesome.
yeah.
Maybe it will.
What
Maybe it
what?
will be awesome. I don't know. It's only been one episode.
Yeah, yeah. That is true because the first episode that we watched is kind of a mess. Uh, yeah,
It's a little wacky. Yeah.
yeah, it's wacky. It's very mystery light to me. Like they not actually do any actual solving cases. They more like interviewing, which is kind of part of it, but they're not getting anywhere. And then boom, there's this one guy who said, "I figure out everything." You don't figure out at all. So yeah, he kind of insult her for something like I don't even know what he say to her, but it's kind of like really shaking her off.
I mean, he's her butler. Like he's been assigned to be her attendant and her assistant.
Yep,
Um,
yep,
like on a personal level, not by the police department or anything. So
yep,
I don't remember what he says to her exactly. He's like makes fun of her, calling her Ojo sama because she's rich. She's,
yeah,
she being the main character of this series. She's the heiress to some sort of big Japanese conglomerate, and at the same time,
yep,
she is also a cop. But she's not very good at her job, and neither is the her partner, the detective who works with her and who is dressed like a character from Ace Attorney. And
yep,
he has that ridiculous like white tuxedo with a hat and everything. Both of them are basically
yep,
idiots, and it's the butler who's going to be instrumental in solving all the crimes. So the fact that he kind of reveals himself at the
yep,
very end of this episode means we don't totally have a full picture of how the show is going to work as a mystery series. If he's the brains of the operation and we've barely heard a thing from him, then
yeah.
it remains to be seen what kind of mystery series this really is. But it doesn't leave a great
Mm,
first impression because like her partner, the white tuxedo detective, is just so overbearing. Um,
yeah, I agree.
I part of me likes the energy that the show brings on the whole. Like
Hmm.
the not only are the performances from the voice actors very high energy, but also a lot of the scene transitions are like very swift and
Yeah,
and there's sort of a very kind of a loose energy to the whole thing. But at the same time, I just hate that detective character so much. He's like chewing all the
y-
scenery, and
yeah,
it's just kind of frustrating.
yeah. And the way that the case going on doesn't really make sense to me as well. I think I mentioned that in my review, but there's one scene where she the main characters just enter the crime scene, and there was like a guard who say like, "Who are you? Sorry, you need to have permission to come up to the crime scene," and she give them the ID, and then when she saw the victim, all of a sudden like everyone just in that uh greenhouse
Yeah,
in that slot, and everyone just see the victim, and everyone just get freaking out and was like,
yeah,
it
that
just
also bothered
yeah
me.
it's
It didn't make a lot of
yeah
sense.
no it
Like
doesn't.
it was as though that guy who was kind of guarding the crime scene was so
Yeah,
embarrassed that he made a mistake, and he
and
like barred her from entering until she showed him her badge, and he was like, "Oh,
yeah,
man, I really messed up. I better let everyone go in just so I don't make that mistake again." And then the
yeah,
whole general
or maybe
public
he
is like crowding
yeah,
up on the corpse, and
yeah,
that was pretty weird.
yeah, yeah, or he just like, it's time for my lunch. I'm just gonna head off.
Yeah, that's probably the more that's probably the more realistic explanation. You don't get between a man and his lunch break. It's just something you just don't
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, I feel overwhelming and underwhelming at the same time. So like with all the antics, I feel yeah, like you said, the energy was up the top. Sometimes it's a bit too much for me, but the actual solving crime is underwhelming. So I might give the second episode a chance to see, like how they wrap it up before I want to see more of that. But as far as the first episodes, I just nah, I don't think it's something that I want to spend like another 10 episodes to watch.
I see. Well, I'm gonna try the second episode because I don't want to be
Yeah,
completely wrong about this show.
yeah. Well, fair enough, and good on you, and good luck with that.
Well, if the second episode is bad too, I'm gonna feel real bad. But I'm gonna try it out because it's got
Yeah,
an adult woman as a main character. I mean, how many anime can say that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like an
Even though
actual adult, not like an
yeah,
18
well,
year old manga
yeah,
artist.
even though she does act like a teenager for for a good bit of
Yeah, well,
these
she is
episodes.
rich, so
Yeah,
she's the heiress of
she allowed
a
to
giant company. They can act however they want. They
yeah.
got money.
All right, so I put it 10 out of 10.
For me, it was number 8.
Yeah. All right.
What we got next?
The next one,
Moonrise.
Moonrise, is the only one that actually the full season have been available.
Mm-hmm.
So they dropped not only the first episodes, but like I think the entire 18 episodes of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing. If you love the first episode,
I
you can just go
agree.
on and watch the entire thing.
Yep. True. Uh, the question is if you can get past the first episodes, and
Oh, what does that mean?
I all right. I'll be frank. The first 10 episodes of this show was just a ride for me. It just like every thing that you would expect from a like a high concept sci-fi to work. You get it all there. You got the main characters um who don't really feel belong to the current status that he has. We got like uh, a models who basically spill the whole thing about the world building in her in her speech so that we can get up to speed. And the, we got like a random battle at the beginning before like we get into the flashback and all that. So I wasn't really into the show, like in the good chunk of like the first 10-15 minutes until like shit hit the fans.
Oh, okay. When you just clarified and said first 10, 15 minutes, that answered a
Yep.
question for me because I think earlier you may have said the first 10 episodes.
Oh, no. Yep. I
And I
said
was
the
like,
first
"Did you
10,
seriously watch
the
this
first
whole
half.
thing or half of
No,
this whole thing?"
no, no.
Okay.
No, the first half of these episodes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel kind of like overwritten or overdesigned. Um
Hmm.
as though there were a whole bunch of people responsible for putting the show together and they all had their idea of what, how a big sci-fi franchise ought to get started. And what ended
Yep.
up making it into the final product was all the safest and most familiar ideas that those people had seen in other science fiction works.
Yep.
Um, and that, yeah, I didn't really care for how familiar it felt and how safe it felt either.
Yep.
You
And
know what was really weird to me? I think the worst part of the episode by far is like midway through after Jack goes to the casino instead of staying in the audience for the spotlight to shine on
yep.
him when his
Yep.
mother tries to introduce him. Uh,
Yep.
he later on after he like ruins her speech, essentially her presentation, they all get together in their hotel room and
Right.
he's they're talking about meatloaf and everything and whatever, and then his mom is drunk probably because she's trying to like bury her feelings of disappointment in her
Yep.
silly son. She's trying to pass him the keys to like everlasting riches basically, and he's like, nope, don't need it, gonna go gamble. So she gets drunk, and then as his father is kind of taking her to bed, like because she needs to lie down. He he
Yep.
says to his son, "By the way, Jack, you always play it cool and act so recklessly. Are you upset about being adopted?" I
Yep.
was like,
Yep.
"What the hell
It's
is
so the
this?"
the whole thing was the whole thing was just weird, man. Like the mom should be upset about him not like not presenting in the presentation, but when we see her, she kind of drunk, she kind of still prepare the meatloaf for her for him, and then he was like, oh my god, yeah. So there's no sense of disappointment in her.
Well, I think that's why
uh
she gets drunk, is because she's disappointed in him,
okay.
if I had to
All
guess.
right.
But then it just ends up, she ends up being a really happy drunk and is like, "You haven't had sex with your girlfriend yet? When am I going to get my
That as well.
grandbabies?"
Ooh. Oh my god. Yeah, the whole thing, and especially the one that you say is supposed to be, like a revelation, like a serious talk between the father, quote unquote, and the son,
I mean, he
but
is he is his father, just not his biological father.
adopted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
just the fact that it comes out of nowhere is so funny.
yeah, true. I just feel that the show need to give us that information before, before everything, so that and then we also got to the present, the present that he doesn't get to give his mom. And then he would say like, yeah, this time I gonna do it, I gonna just give the present to her. And then that's never gonna happen. We know right away that, the moment he said that, it's not gonna happen. So
Yeah.
everything is just so textbook to the fault.
Yeah. I also don't
Oh my god,
get
yeah.
what.
I just say I have a really hard time caring for any of these characters until that point.
Until what point? Like
Until
the space
uh
station falling out of the sky.
yep.
I mean, even that did not really impress me at all. I mean, it
All right.
was, you know, crazy looking, but
Mm-hmm.
I was just, I don't know a thing about Jack. I think the whoever wrote the script for this first episode really messed up, because we should have gotten a stronger idea of who Jack is and what his relationships are, if not with his family, then with all of his friends who are hanging around his mansion.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
Instead, they're all
We don't
just
know any
like
of them.
throwing cool one-liners at each other, or not even that.
Yep.
Like one of them is just playing Pokemon Go on his phone. It's not, it's a knockoff. But the when you see what he's doing on his like little floating digital screen in front of his face, it clearly looks like Pokemon Go's interface. Um,
Yep.
so in the long lead up time to the show finally exiting production, because this Moonrise was announced many years ago.
Yep.
Pokemon Go
They,
probably came out, and one of the people in the writers' room was probably like, "Whoa, man, we got to put that in our show. That's topical."
yep.
Of course, now it's many
That's
years
that's a
later. Nobody cares
win-win.
about Pokemon Go.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
it's, I mean, maybe that's just like a ridiculously small detail to nitpick, but I, I just this this
Yep.
show is just. I think that a lot of the information that his mom gave in her presentation about how the world is, like how it operates now and the connection between Earth and the moon, and how all the decisions for the universal, like the global government are run by AI and stuff. I think that stuff
Yep.
ought to have been like sneaked into his some of the conversation he could have had with his friends at his mansion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you could have given that
Yep.
more time. We could have had more time in that scene to learn like who Jack is and why all these people are hanging around and who they are to him.
Yep.
Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
But no,
I know
they.
when I think about Jack, I don't think about like what his personality is or anything. I think about um, like he used to be a kid on a moon base or something. If you watch the ED,
Right.
the
Yep.
first shot of the ED like pans down and zooms out, and you can see it's Jack and Phil, the kid from his flashback, and also from that
Yep.
weird like digital vision that he has when the apocalypse is
Yep.
happening.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So I think he was once like an orphan on a moon base with Phil,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
he was adopted by this Earth couple, I
Yep.
guess. I just
I
think when I
I
think about his
do
character, I
feel the
think in
same.
terms of like what it might say on a character design and like background sheet.
Yep.
And I don't get a sense of him as a person.
Yep. I agree. And I think the show need to, like get all that point across before it get to the, like the big coup d'etat at the end, where, like a guy showing up and just announce that they're gonna be a Moonrise. So it's the title, so it, like everything go into war now. The moon gonna
Bobu
get
Skylamu.
their own get their own independence. So all that.
Yeah. The villain name being Bob Skylum is just
Yeah, yeah,
it's so funny. Uh Oh yeah, and also the company that Jack's parents run is literally called Shadow Corporation.
yeah. When I heard about that, there I was like, there might be something very shadow going on. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah,
The
gee, I
names.
wonder if this is going to be revealed to ultimately be an evil corporation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so as well. But they die. They die before we ever learn all that.
Yep.
So sad. All right.
I'm not too
Do you
broken up
have any
about it.
other note? Yeah. Do you have any other note on Moonrise? I would say that is the biggest disappointment for me watching all details. So I was really have high hope for this.
I can't. I don't know. The long time between its original announcement and its eventual release kind of made me think that something was up.
Yeah.
So I wasn't. I didn't think that it was going to be super great. It could have been,
Hmm.
um, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to watch another episode. This was just.
Uh,
This was not it.
yeah, yeah. But I think I gonna watch more of that just for because it's the one that already we see the finish line. I might give this more chance and to see if I whether I have the stomach to watch like the 18 episode from that.
Good luck.
Thank you. I need a lot of luck for this. I put 7 out of 10.
All right, for me it was number 9.
Yep. Fair enough. All right. How about the the next one, Mono? So the one that we just finished
Mono.
watching, literally, I say 2 hours ago.
Yeah, yeah. It just released today, and
Yeah.
this is the show that we were mentioning earlier when we were talking about Zatsujani.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mono is by the creator of Eurocamp, or I should say, the source material is by the creator of Eurocamp, and
Yep.
I mean, it kind of has the same spirit as that show.
I
It,
agree.
it's kind of silly and like it has a very mellow energy to it, and
Mm-hmm.
the dialogue is pretty fun between all the female characters, and some interesting sights, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in Eurocamp, you go and camp. That's the whole idea. You go and see uh, different places, different scenery, and you go on a journey. Zatsujani. But in Mono, it's
Yep.
more about capturing that scenery. The theme is cameras, which is interesting, I guess. Have
Yep.
we had another anime like this? I'm sure we have.
We might have nothing come to my mind at the moment. Um, nah, not really. But
Anime with a photography club, there must be.
there must be. I think there is a fair bit, but not really anything that's really stand out. All right.
Hmm.
In any cases, I actually really enjoy the first sequence, like the you enjoy that intro quality. I enjoy this in these shows where in the span of 5 minutes, we actually like the whole year gone by. So we got to see her from the very beginning when she just get into the school, to her doing the decided to join the photography club, and then to her always taking picture of senpai, and then to her, like getting the prize out of that, and then there's a farewell in the span of just 5 minutes. I love that.
Yeah,
And
it
then we
almost
get into the
focuses
routine
more
where,
on the senpai character than it does on the eventual member
yeah,
of the photography club once the show starts in earnest. So you
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like there's a hole, something's missing once it starts, which is the way that the main character feels. I don't remember any of their
yeah.
names,
That's
but
fine. I don't remember any of the name either, but
yeah,
yeah,
she's like hiding under a
she's
table
a
because she's so depressed that her
yeah,
senpai is gone.
yeah. I love that.
And I
And
think a
then
sketch
and then we get,
of that
yeah,
moment becomes a part
yeah.
of the Yonkoma manga that one of the characters draws. When you
Hmm.
see like the storyboard, the layout for the manga that she's drawing, there's an image like a very loose sketch of a table and somebody laying down underneath it.
I see. Yeah. And then we got into the point of view of the other girl, where like she tell us from her perspective, and it was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I thought the whole thing, like got on really well. It's a very easy energy, and it kind of grow naturally as well. So we get into them, or and with all the new cameras as well. So I kind of really surprised to see, like all the modern camera that we see in these episodes. Like one of them is you can actually go virtually as well. So we go like 360-degree to see everyone.
Yeah,
That's cool. I didn't know that.
yeah, that was neat. They could hook it up to like a smart device and then um, look at the image and like pinch it so you could see kind of a sphere, and you
Yep.
could you
Yep.
could rotate it to see like a 360-degree fisheye sort of effect.
Yep. Yep.
That
Yep.
was cool. Um,
Yep.
and the idea to mount the camera on top of the cat uh,
Yep.
makes me
I
think
thought
that
that was
they'll
cool as
probably
well.
do a lot of a lot of other trickery with cameras, like put
Right.
them
Yep.
on
Yep.
other objects, put them in other locations, and see what they can capture and how they can use that as inspiration for what's her face's
Yep.
manga.
Yep. Yep. True. But I kind of worry about the privacy when you put camera into the cat, and they just roaming around. I don't think it's gonna fly really well in the Western countries.
I didn't. Well, I'm from a Western country. I didn't even think about that. I just thought it was like a cute cartoon cat with a camera on it. I wasn't thinking
Well,
about
yeah.
where the cat might go and what it might see. There's a little section where they talk. The cat's name is Taishol, which
Hmm.
sounds both like Taichol, meaning boss, and Taisho, the like the era of Japanese history. Um,
Yep.
and I don't think they ever like confirm why the cat is named the way that it is, but they also talk about like the fact that whenever it leaves home, it's gone for at least a week, and it tries to get on trains and stuff. Um,
Yep.
so I guess it could end up going somewhere where it might see something sensitive, but I don't really care. You got to do it for science, for the science of photography, and for the
Yep.
completion
Yep.
of the onkoma. You need inspiration, you need material. But I mean, regardless of how they take any of these pictures or what kind of cameras they use or what other characters are introduced or what the plot ends up being, regardless of all of that, I just feel like the show's charming. I like the
Yep.
relationship between the two girls in the photography club, and
Yep.
the way that this older girl who draws manga, that they meet her, and she is as the older member of their trio. I guess they have to pay respect to her, but also they're nervous about her driving and she's clearly
Yeah.
irresponsible because like she forgot to mail the camera
Yeah.
to the main girl even though she wanted it at an auction. I
Yeah.
like her character as well. The fact that she's older but also like less reliable is kind of fun.
Yeah.
She's a fun person to have in a scene, you know.
Yeah. And of course, she's the mangaka as well, so she kind of like shut in, and but she doesn't have any social anxiety, at least not to this girl. So it's kind
No,
of
just
fun as well.
driving
And
anxiety.
yeah, and I think it's the quality that we also see in Eurocam as well. So like the characters are charming, like their interaction are really like great to watch, and they focus on the scenery. This time is on the photography and the pictures and all that. I think it make for quite a really enjoyable time.
Yep. Oh shoot, did I not rank this?
Oh,
Okay, I
it's
never mind.
gonna it's gonna be the remaining rank for
Right.
sure.
Yes, I have it now. I've got it. I've got it now.
All right, I got 5. I rank it 5 out of 10.
Oh, I didn't mean that we should skip right to the rank. But I just
All right,
noticed
sorry,
that
you have.
I have no notes on this show. Not only do I not have any notes, I didn't put a number next to it.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't have much more to say. I'm
Yeah.
losing it. I'm like the
Um.
manga girl in this show. I'm just losing it. I don't have my shit together.
All right. What you got on your ranking?
I put it first.
First. Wow.
Hmm.
Well done. All right.
Yes, sir. I
Wow.
really did enjoy it.
All right. So the next one gonna be very very interesting to see how you like it or not.
Aha.
Mobile Suit
Do you say
Gundam.
very interesting because you assumed that I would put Gundam in first place?
Yep. Yep. I think so. I thought so. I was wrong.
Nope.
All right. Mobile Suit Gundam. GQuuuuuuX.
GQuuuuuuX.
GQuuuuuuX. All right.
Yeah, they I saw the when we were talking about which watch, I was talking about those compilation movies. I did see the
Yep.
the first 3 episodes of the show, kind of chopped up, rearranged as Mobile Suit Gundam GQuuuuuuX beginning. Saw that
Right.
in theaters with my brother. I almost fell asleep.
All right.
Uh,
Almost.
so I do
Yes.
remember. I remember a bunch of stuff about it. I didn't like miss chunks of it or anything due to unconsciousness. One thing that I do remember from that film is that they explain why it's called GQuuuuuuX, um, which
Right.
is what apparently QUUX. Those 4 letters are relevant to like programming somehow.
Oh,
Those That's a
okay.
term in like computer programming in the real world. Uh,
Huh.
Now, why exactly they felt the need to use 6 letter U's in the title, so it looks like GQuuuuuuX instead of just the normal 2, I don't
Yeah.
know. Probably just to get people's attention, so they would watch the dang thing.
Oh my God. It's rock out. But
Yeah,
yep. Go on.
it's bizarre. Um, yeah, I was kind of disappointed
Mhm.
with GQuuuuuX.
So my question for you is that I heard that they rearranged the order when they show the first episode. So like the thing that you see is not like the first sequence that you watch in the movies. And is that right? And is that the a good decision from them?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether it's a good decision or not. That's up to whoever watches it. They can make up their own mind.
Yeah.
What I can say is that in the theatrical version, it
Hmm.
starts with what will eventually become episode 2. I
I
believe.
see. Hmm.
So it starts with an alternate history of the 1 Year War. So you and I have actually seen the first two episodes of Gundam, the
Yep.
original series.
Yep.
I've seen the whole thing on my own time, but we also did watch those first two episodes together. And that's
Hmm.
handy because that's the material that you would really need
Hmm.
to watch GQuuuuuuX.
Right.
Because in those episodes of the original Gundam series, Amuro, the main character, pilots the Gundam
Yep.
for the first time. There are Xeon forces who have invaded his homeland, his side, like the space colony where he lives in Gundam. They're called sides, and so he gets into the Gundam and fights off the invading mobile suits. In
Hmm.
GQuuuuuuX, it happens differently. It presents an alternate version of those events, and that impacts history going forward. So you see that alternate history at the beginning of
Hmm.
the theatrical version.
Right. Right.
Now, based on the next episode preview that came after this premiere, it looks like we're going to get that material in episode 2 of the TV series. So that should be
Yep.
coming up next week.
Hmm. Very interesting.
Is it a good idea? I really don't know. To me, the most interesting part of the theatrical version was the alternate history.
Hmm.
So leading with it was like, oh, okay. And the stuff in the modern day, or I guess what would in GQuuuuuuX be considered the modern day, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about this.
All right.
So that's what I got.
All
How did
right.
you like it?
So I enjoyed the first episodes. Like we I because I'm not into Gundam like you. I know the main concept, and I know that this is like kind of related to the original Gundam. So
Hmm.
I kind of get some of the name that they mentioned,
Like
and
Char?
yeah, Char, and there's one time that the guy mentioned another name, which I don't think I get that name. But in any case, it kind of like sound like familiar, and I was a bit hesitated put into this because when the big name sign up for this one, it tend to be like more as a disappointment when we watch it. Then you know we really enjoy it, but so far I kind of like the plot, like the girl, the two girl get into like whatever it is, and then they get to see the underground tournaments, and then the
But
whole shit happening.
do they though?
No,
I'm
they
very
don't.
confused
They
about
don't.
like all the synopses for this show online are like, oh, she gets involved in the world of underground Gundam battles, and I was like, where was that?
Yep. No.
uh, huh?
Yeah, before they even get to that, they get she got into the real battle, and she got into like the real mobile suit. So in any case, yeah, the plot happened a bit too quickly, but I for once really enjoy where the story head, and even the visual look great. It's look amazing to me.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool.
Mm.
I like the character designs.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
very modern. They don't really fit with my idea of how a Gundam show looks, but it's okay, I guess,
Hmm.
because I think they are interesting looking. They kind of remind me of Furikuri and Die Buster a little bit.
Y- Yep. Yep.
Character
Yep. I
designs
can
are
see that.
more
Yep.
round. The characters have a bit of an attitude to them, a little bit of an edge to them, but at the same time, their designs are very like in terms of their shape, they're a little more gentle.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's kind of an interesting contrast in my mind. I mean, the director of GQuuuuuuX is Kazuya Tsurumaki, who directed Furikuri
Furikuri.
and Die Buster.
Yeah.
So it's to be expected that he would bring somebody on board who would, you know, create characters who look the way that he prefers.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't like all the modernization. I like the way the characters look, but of course the robots being 3D, I just have to eat. I have to hold that. I have to take that L, as the kids would say, because I like 2D mechs, but it's just not the way things are done anymore. Um, but the one modernization that I do like take a real issue with is the music. I do not like the music.
Hmm. All right.
It's just so poppy. Um, and especially the scene where they don't tell you the characters' names in this first episode, but I know the red-haired girl's name is Matsu and the blue-haired girl's name is Nyan.
Yeah.
Uh,
As in
yeah,
cat.
Nyan. Yeah,
Okay.
that's her name somehow.
Okay. Yep.
Uh, the scene where they meet, like kind of on top of a building with a torii gate, like one of those red torii gates
Yep, 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 yep.
on top of it. When they have that encounter, because Neon needs to recover the like the access key or whatever to make the
Yep.
Gundam's weapon system operational. Matsu like is hiding up there, I guess, and Neon goes up to try to get the key because there's a tracker on it or something.
Hmm.
And in that scene, the music, like a J rock, J pop type song with a female vocalist, starts playing very loudly as the girls are meeting for the first time, and they're like exchanging dialogue, and it's competing with the music. And the music isn't necessary in the scene at all. Like whether it has lyrics or not, it's not
Hmm.
important. We need to, there probably ought to be no music at all in that scene because it's two people who are honestly in conflict with one another. Like Machu has taken the little tracker device with the flashing red light off
Yep.
of the access key and put it somewhere else to like trick her. And
Hmm.
she's like playing keep away with it. She jumps up on top of like a little sign or something when Neon tries to take it from her. It just didn't feel right to me. The use of music in that scene or in general throughout the episode, I was like, "What is this? I don't like this."
Hmm. All right. That's a bit too bad. I don't mind the music in this show. Uh, there is one other thing that I noticed as well is the main girl. I think in one of the scene, she mentioned about the gravity. So I'm
Hmm.
not sure what to take of that because it might just like seem not from Earth.
So I'll
Yeah.
tell you, this is a Gundam fan thing, I guess. And I honestly I wouldn't describe myself as a Gundam fan. I've seen far more Gundam than the average anime watcher, but that's just because of my interest in older series and stuff.
Yeah.
I happen to have seen Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, which is the follow-up to the original series. And
Yep.
one of the themes of Zeta Gundam is that people who like live in space, uh, there there are some like members of the Earth Federation who, even though they're more active in space now, their souls are still weighed down by the Earth's gravity. That's like a common, I guess, theme or like line of dialogue in that show is that their souls are tethered by gravity. And the significance of it is that some people are not ready to embrace the future, basically. They're not ready to embrace humanity's new life among the stars. They're not ready for the new type revolution with a bunch of people who are developing like evolved consciousness
Hmm.
out in space. And so their souls are weighed down by Earth's gravity. So when Matu talks about like people who live on Side Six, which is her home colony, never having experienced the gravity of the Earth,
Hmm.
I think it's supposed to represent like a break from Zeta Gundam, This show
Right.
is taking place around the same time as Zeta Gundam, around 6, 7 years after the original series, but it's in a parallel universe where Zeon won the 1 Year War instead of the Earth Federation.
Yep.
So now we have a character who's expressing that these people, their souls, like they're not tethered by the Earth's gravity whatsoever. It's like a new era. It's a new universe that the show's
Hmm.
creating for itself. I, that's what
Yep.
I got out of it at least.
That's
But
interesting.
of course, you
Mm.
can just read it more straightforwardly as a commentary on, their everything about where they live is artificial. You know,
Yep.
they live in a giant cylinder among the stars.
Mm. Yep. So yeah, I really like the concept, and I think there should be a degree of familiar to the original series or the universe or its law in order to get the most out of it. Which I think I was like 60-70% get out of it, not 100% like or the Gundam fan. Um, at the story stand on its own, I would say yes. I really want to see more of these characters and how like how the plot going forward. So yep, it's a yes for me for now. How about you seeing this episode for the second time now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested. I mean, I know what's coming next, and I
Well,
know what's coming after that. But eventually, we'll get to a point where I haven't seen, uh, you know, where
yeah,
I haven't seen the material for the next episode. I'm interested. I'm sure that I will watch the whole thing.
yeah,
Um, I just, I don't know. My expectations for it were pretty high, and
yeah.
it didn't necessarily meet them. Um, but
Well,
if I'm going to watch the whole thing, then there's plenty more to judge it on, not just what we've seen so far.
yeah. All right. You have any other notes? I we can do the ranking now.
Nah, I'm good. Yeah.
All right. I put it second out of 10.
Interesting. Okay, for me it was number 5.
Oh wow. Hmm. All right. How about the next one? Another original show from one of the best
Yeah, certainly
directors.
a man with
Yeah,
a storied reputation,
yeah,
but is this show going to be a classic or is it going to be a train wreck?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It fall on either camp, and we talking about Lazarus.
Yes.
Just to let you know that I watched the English dub version because I couldn't wait for the Japanese version.
You
So I
couldn't
want
wait,
to.
huh? You were that hyped up?
It just happened to be I just happened to be free at the exact point where it got released the English dub version. So I just like
Yeah.
let's do it. And I would say that I don't really enjoy the English stuff. So the next one, I just gonna switch way and switch back to the original Japanese subtitle.
I see. Well, I regret to inform you that the main character in Japanese is voiced by the same actor who plays the white tuxedo detective in
Oh
Dinner Table
no!
Detective. But I mean, it's a very different performance. He's not going completely crazy with it in Lazarus.
Oh my goodness, that guy. Okay.
Yeah, so that was
Um.
something I noticed right away because I did watch the Japanese dub with
Right.
English subtitles.
The first episode is basically a big chase. It's just like one end on the others, and I think this is where the different in approach from me and the show is a bit pronounced because when for me my go-to when we go to the chase is that it's a chance to see the background as well. It's a chance to explore different part of the city, but here the focus is more on the animation. and the animation is top notch. But you don't get to see much of the backgrounds or the environment they are in.
I
It's
thought the
just made up.
background art was really good.
All right. Not that much for me. It looked a bit. It looked a bit more like more standard sci-fi
No
um,
way.
setting to me. But you go on. You go on.
I mean, you got to take the totality of the backgrounds into consideration, I guess, if you're going to evaluate them. Like the first, there's the prison, which I think was
Hmm.
mapped out in 3D probably.
Yep.
Um, and then there's there are the scenes where he's initially escaped the prison, and then he's just walking around on the street. And when I
Yep.
say he, I'm talking about the main character, Axel.
Yep.
Giroberto.
Okay.
Um,
Gilberto. Hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
I think you would probably say Gilberto. Gilberto. Uh,
Yep.
if you were to pronounce it, if he's indeed like a Latino character,
Hmm.
you would probably not use the j sound.
Yep.
But anyway, when Axel's walking around on the street and he encounters that cop who's like, "So is it a trend among young people to dress as prison escapees?"
Yep.
And they like take a picture together, um, or maybe they just high five. I can't remember exactly. The
High
the
five, I
shots of
think.
the street and like the that we get during
Hmm.
those moments are really nice looking. There's a lot, just so much detail to them. I love the lighting. Um, and we do get a little shot of him after he sneaks away from that cop before he gets the message on his radio like somebody escaped from prison.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
we see the interior of like a clothing shop that he
Hmm.
walks into when he ditches his jumpsuit, which ends up on a mannequin in that store. Really
Yep.
love the view from within the store. Um, it's so dense with detail.
Yep. Okay.
Uh, and I I remember a particular scene where he has gotten away from the drones uh,
Oh,
that have
yep.
been chasing him. Oh, and even after he's jumped down from the rooftop, I think
Yep.
once the what's his face like tells him freeze, and he holds him at gunpoint on the rooftop. He jumps down, and all the doves are flying, and all the there's like the beams of light shining. There's a moment where he is on top of a traffic light.
Hmm.
Do you remember this? This is shortly before
Yep.
he talks to the blonde woman who asks him for a selfie and then zaps him with her like electric watch or whatever,
Yep. 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 Yep.
where he falls into unconsciousness. Before
He's
he meets her, he's like on top of a traffic light. He's jumped down there somehow, and I really love the view of the intersection that we get in that
mm,
moment. I think there was cool background art all around.
all right.
Um, of
I
course,
have
there is a
another.
lot of emphasis on the parkour animation too.
Yeah, I have another questions. The drones who are following him, what exactly they doing? Because I expect them to, attack him or, shoot him or something. But it just follow him, and then it's got they got kicked off. They got, they're
I
useless.
think they're just monitoring his location, like tracking him.
Okay, okay.
In the same
Hmm.
way that when somebody like at nighttime, if somebody steals a car,
Yep,
like a
yep,
police
yep,
helicopter will fly overhead,
yep,
and they don't
yep.
have like a gunman on the helicopter to shoot him. It's just to keep
Hmm.
track of their location,
Okay.
so they
Yeah,
don't lose them.
that makes sense. Okay.
Uh, yeah, I thought the scenes where he would have to engineer specific situations where he could attack the drones, like he could kick them. Because for the most part, he had to just run to try
Hmm.
to get away from him. But he took like specific moments to kick them. One was he jumped through like a glass window and ended up grabbing onto some sort of, I don't know, pole, and kind of like he grabbed onto it with one hand and kind of spun around 180 degrees and used the momentum to kick the I don't know, the not
Yep.
the wings, the blades off one of the drones, like kick it into pieces.
Right.
I just
Right.
thought
Yep.
those scenes were very cool.
Yep. It is.
I mean, mostly the show is just cool. That's that's how I would describe it. That's what it has
Yep.
going for it, really.
Yep. How do you buy the main concept at the moment? So,
That I'll be honest,
yep. A
I
bit
don't
dumb.
really care.
Yep. Yep. That's, I'll be
I
honest,
understand
it's a
that
bit
that's like
dumb
the
for
big
me.
story and that's supposed to be the hook, but for to me, honestly, what has hooked me is like the show's, the production, the sense of style, all that stuff. I can't say that I'm really invested in the overarching plot, and I don't think I ever will be.
Okay.
That's
Hmm.
just my take on it, though. Are you
Yeah.
excited to see whether they can catch Dr. Skinner?
No, no, no. I think the whole plan of the Skinner is a bit I wouldn't say dodgy. I would more say like it's just ridiculous the way that like he put on the drug, get it popular for 1 year before he disappeared for 3 years, and then he just pop back saying that now it's 3 years in the body, it's gonna take effect. It's gonna be mutilate, and it's gonna wake up the people, and that's my plan. I'm not playing God or anything, but it's the chance for the um for the human to decide what they're worth and all that. I was like, my God,
Does he
this
really
guy.
say, I'm not playing God?
He did say that at one point. I'm not playing God.
Maybe that line was dub only.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Yep.
remember
It.
reading that. But of course I could have just forgotten. But that's a hell of a thing to say when he's literally playing God.
Yeah. Oh my God, this guy. So I was like, and I actually have to go back to the beginning a few times to work on the timelines, because I know that he's been gone for 3 years. I don't know like how long he been distributing the drug, and apparently I think like in the first few lines they're saying that he appeared out of nowhere 4 years ago. So it's just like he got the drug into effect for like 1 year before he disappeared, and I was like, okay.
Hmm. I mean, I remember that little opening sequence where it's narrated. I think
Yeah.
it's narrated by the agent who holds Axel at gunpoint on the roof.
I say the black guy.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember his name. The one with
Douglas.
the glasses.
Yeah.
Uh,
Douglas.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, Douglas. That sounds right.
Yeah.
I remember that opening scene, and I remember him talking about Dr. Skinner and how he was a miracle drug and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm honestly expecting the story to kind of go off the rails a little bit,
Yeah.
and I'm good with it. I'm just here for the animation. I'm here for the music. Oh man, there was one track during this episode that I loved so much. Um, it was part of one of the parkour scenes. It was like an electronic song with like little ah
Right.
like a little vocal sample with that playing up at
Yeah.
the higher end of the song, and then the lower end was the bass like doom da doom 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 da doom doom da doom doom. I was grooving along in my seat like hell yeah, this is this is so good. Um,
Nice.
and there was some jazz as well. Of course, that was more reminiscent of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
During the prison break scene, it was very jazzy. And I know like all the artists who are collaborating with Watanabe on this series, the musical artists. I'm familiar with all of their work,
Yeah.
so it's very interesting to
I
hear their
I
styles like crop up in the anime.
yeah. I think I listened to some of the Kamashi Washington's
Hmm.
songs, not like all of
Yeah,
them, and I really impressed with the way he played jazz.
yeah.
It's so good.
he
So
has a very like a kind of a famous modern jazz album called The Epic.
the epic.
I think
Yeah,
if I'm remembering correctly, I think it's the album cover is just like him with a big afro holding his
yeah,
saxophone like in dead center in front of him, and it's in black and white.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Is
it's very
it
cool.
epic? It
Yeah.
is.
Oh yes. Oh
Right.
yes.
Oh wow, look
Yeah.
at the length of that. How long is that album?
I'm pretty sure it's a double album.
All right.
So I don't
It's
know. Hour
all
and
right, all
30.
right. They say it is 173 minutes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, a
So
triple album. A quadruple album.
yeah, a triple album. Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So yes, I think I'm like you. I'm just here for the style. I'm not really here for the characters and much less so for the story.
Yeah.
I think the characters will grow on you, hopefully, but yeah,
Yeah.
the story gonna be the thing that you don't pay much attention to because I feel it ridiculous cry in the first few minutes of these episodes, but well, it's a really good looking show.
Yep. After Carolyn Tuesday, I'm not I have no hope for the story. I'm just going to disconnect myself from that. I'm
and
just going to
even
enjoy the atmosphere.
and even Carol at Tuesday, there's a lot of fan for the show, so I think it's popular enough.
Yeah, I guess
So
so.
maybe it's just us who want to expect something more. I'm not sure.
I
In
don't
any
know.
case, I put it 3 out of 10.
So did I.
All right.
All right.
So my pick for the last show, and I know your pick. So let's get down to it. Kowloon generic romance.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
be
Originally, I
frank
thought
with
this was
you.
going to be my pick for number one.
Yep.
Then I
Until you
watched
want
it
number
and I
one.
was like, "Wow, this is pretty good. We'll make this
Yep.
our number one." And then I saw Mono, and I was
Yep.
like, "Oh, I love this."
Yep.
So,
Uh,
but of course, Kowloon Generic Romance, one of the shows I think we both probably expected to be very good,
yep.
and it did end up being pretty good.
All right. I'll be frank with you. I didn't know Kowloon was a real place before
Yeah,
before the postcard when I just look up like because the name Kowloon is just so specific. I have to look up to see if it's a replay, and it is a replay, or it was a replay.
yeah, it was in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah, it's in Hong Kong, and apparently it was in the Wall City. So it's just
Yeah,
like very lock up. So basically, what we saw in the episode as well, and that's one thing that I love the most out of this show. So this show is I really enjoy basically everything except for the two scenes. And what I love the most about the show is the center place because I just love a good settings. And this one have like a really it the setting is just another characters.
yeah. It's all the views of the different shops and restaurants,
Yeah,
even the tiny little office where they work, the
that's
like
true. Yep.
the realtor's office, even that little building, you get a good sense of the layout of it. Like there's a little place where what's his face? Kudo, is that his name? Kudo, where he naps,
Kudo.
kind of in
Huh.
the back corner there,
All right.
and you get a sense of how their computers are arranged relative to like their boss's desk and um, all the Chinese characters on the different posters and signs, and Kujidai. Man, it's hard to say her name. Kujidai's like her apartment has that little balcony where she goes out to smoke and eat watermelon.
Yeah.
There is a strong sense of geography and location.
yeah, yeah. I just had a look to After the Rain to see if the main characters share the same first name. Kudo, the name of the main characters in After the Rain is Kondo.
Oh,
So right, oh, so not really the same, but kind of familiar because I remember blogging about the other show and I was like, that name. All right,
sounds familiar.
yeah, it does. So yeah, I really love the uh like and even the main characters have mentioned one of these places, his habit of like go into to this like one of the route to his office and he had to do the things he had to grab on the name or something, and like he know the way around to to go to the restaurant, to go to like some of the hidden places in there. I love that. I love to be in that world. So it remind me a lot of uh oh my god, what that show? The show that uh the 2020 shows.
Dorohedoro?
No, the girls. That could apply too, but I'm thinking more about keep your hands up.
Hazelkin.
Hezukin. uh like when you go down to the basement or you see like the whole like the whole shopping district or like the specific ramen shop in this place and that place. It's just so full of detail. It's just so full of personality. Love that.
Yeah, there is a the art is nice, and the specificity of
Yeah,
the art, the details are very
yeah,
nice. I would say one thing that makes this show different though is that this is it's set in like a future version of Kowloon.
yeah. Mm-hmm,
Uh,
mm-hmm.
and I think whenever the Japanese characters in the show are pronouncing Kowloon, they say like Kowloon or
Kurun.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm me just looking at the word, I have to say
yeah,
Kowloon because I
yeah,
don't know. This is how it
yeah,
looks to me.
yeah.
Um, so I mean, I got the impression from some shots of characters walking down the street where it was
Mm-hmm.
very sunny and it was easy to look up between the buildings and see um, like that weird rhombus in the sky or whatever shape that was, the generic Terra floating object there.
Yeah.
I would think that it would be a little bit more difficult to look up and glimpse that. Like if everything is really so cramped together.
I agree with you on that,
You
but
know,
well,
I would feel as though it would be a little less sunny in
mhm,
general from shot to shot. Like it would have a harder time filtering down to the ground
yeah,
floor,
yeah,
um, and that you wouldn't glimpse the sky so easily.
yeah,
So that did occur to me while I was
mhm,
watching. Yeah,
yeah,
but in general, I really do like the setting quite a lot.
yeah. And then
And
the
of course, there's all the
characters,
mysteries.
yeah, and then the characters, and then the mystery. So we get into that now. So apparently, uh, I think midway through, I also said something on this as well. The way that the main girl, Kurichai, or Reiko, she kind of tell that whenever he see Kodo, she feel nostalgic feeling, and I was like, maybe that's because yeah, her memory maybe have been erased, so that they used to be a couple, and now she forget everything, and that's what we get at the end where we see a pictures of herself, smiling to Kodo, and she don't remember any of that.
Right. Um, there is the nostalgic feeling that she sometimes gets when she's with him. I think she expresses that first when they're on the rooftop smoking together.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but there's of course there's also the um, the sudden realization that she has that her the prescription of her glasses no longer suits her,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
she has 20/20 vision
yeah.
suddenly, even though she didn't before. So that tells you it's more than just her memory that's being tampered with, because
Mm,
your eyesight is based on like the shape of the rods and the cones in
yeah,
your eye.
yeah,
That's not something that's located within the brain.
yeah. Mm,
So something's it's like her consciousness is being put into a different body
yeah,
or something.
maybe.
Like there's two she has two bodies. Um,
Mm,
I don't know exactly how that works.
yeah.
If there's cloning going on or what.
We yeah, we get a lot of hint from one of the pharmacy. We get to see. I think one of they got mentioned a lot on the TV. We
Yeah, it's the
the
Hebinuma Beauty Center.
Yeah, yeah, that. And when she when she put on the eye drop to her eyes, it's for me my take is that it certainly got better. So maybe there's something from the substance of that eye drop. I'm not sure. Maybe I prefer your version much better. So I would say that they will be the one behind all the miseries that we experienced so far.
Yeah, I think so because as Kujidai is walking to work, she overhears those two like middle-aged guys watching the news report on TV, and they're like, "Oh, I think they say that it's government funded, but I think it's really run by a private company. What was it called again? The Hebinuma Beauty Center."
Mhm. Yeah,
And then later when she's having lunch with Kudo at that place, he sees her using the eye drops. He's like, I don't trust that.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Ever
yeah,
since that weirdo son of theirs took over their company, I don't trust that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
All right.
and as he's saying that, I think the show cuts to like a billboard for this beauty center, and it like zooms in on the photo of
On the guy
the
face.
yeah the
Yeah,
untrustworthy son that Kudo was talking about. So he'll probably be a prominent character in the future.
yeah. One question is how much that Kudo knows about all that because he must have known about Kurichais before and after. And
Yeah, when he kisses her towards the end of the episode, he says, "Oh, sorry, wrong person."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I guess he
Oh,
knows that there are two of her.
yeah. And that brings up to my first issues, complaints out of out of the whole episode is that kiss. Oh my god, it just out of nowhere and it's just sexual harassment, man. And he doesn't talk
What?
about it.
He
It's
thinks that they're in a relationship. Well, he wakes up from a nap and I guess is like
well,
doesn't
she could
have his
sue him for sexual harassment for sure. And the worst thing is that he kind of just like brush it off, you know. Sorry, wrong girls. Di- Didn't even didn't even like acknowledge that he was taking advantage of her. Oh my god.
um I mean, so the reason that he kisses her in the first place is because he thinks that it's his girlfriend or
Yeah. He didn't
whatever.
explain that to her though.
No, he didn't. But I think he probably couldn't
Yeah.
because she's not supposed to know.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he
yeah.
understands that Kujidai doesn't know that there are two of her somehow, and so he
Hmm.
is like he can't explain it to her. Perhaps he's forbidden from explaining it to her, or it wouldn't make any sense to
Yeah.
do so.
Yeah.
Uh, I can understand why he didn't do the anime thing and immediately like jump up blushing and then like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that, and then like get down on his hands and knees and dogeza and like say, oh no, sorry about that. I'll never do it again.
Oh my
I
god.
think it
That even worse.
makes
Yeah.
sense that he would try to like play it cool and brush it off. Of course, of course it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you can't sweep something like that under the rug because now she's going to be like going detective mode and trying to figure
Yeah.
out what's going on. Even if she
Yeah.
hadn't found that photo, she
Yeah.
would start to like I don't know observe him more closely and figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, if I had any issue with the kiss scene, it was that it was like so wet.
Oh my God. All right. Talking about weight, it's come up to
Like,
my second second
oh, okay,
issues.
sure,
Remember the scene where she had to paint over the house,
yes,
one of the apartment, and there's like one really strange frame where like she kind of uh get his stroke, and then she kind of like doing the really weird expression. I swear to you, it's something come off uh from hentai.
are
That
you talking
expression, that
specifically
face.
about the scene where she like she faints and Kuro
Yeah.
catches her? The expression on her
Before
face
that,
there.
yeah, yeah, just like a few seconds before that, where before she fans, she just like like we get a shot from up the angle to her. No, so from the high angle, like shot down to her, and she kind of having the uh yeah, that expression, just so weird. And and she's sweaty, and she was yeah. So, oh my God,
Showing a
that,
lot of cleave.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I this obviously the author of the manga on which the show is based is not afraid of you know
Yeah,
showing off. I don't his her. I think the author is a woman.
I'm not sure. I thought it was a woman until the name is June. June is probably uh the male's name. Oh, she. Sure, that's a girl. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's not afraid of designing sexy protagonists.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't have an issue with it really. I mean, it's very direct,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's fine. I mean, I've seen so many HBO shows where there's like a bunch of nudity in the first episode
Yeah. Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
hook. So
Uh.
when
Yeah.
I watch the show, I'm like, yes, this is just HBO the animation. You get the uh, sweaty female protagonist with big breasts in the first episode, and then you get people to buy volume 2 of your manga.
That's sad, but well,
Is it?
except from these two scenes, I enjoyed this episode the whole way through. I even like Kudo at first, he really pressed about cutting the line, so that he uh, and talking about that, actually, I think it's just so weird, the way that they have to clock in on time, because otherwise, like she clock in 8 minutes later, she become late, and then they have to stay overtimes, and that doesn't really count into their work, so she's still working, like a massive hours, and she's still late for that day. It was so like,
I was not keeping track of how long they were working.
I'm
Uh,
a bit sure that they work on time.
when he cut the line and she was like, "Oh no, I'm late." I
Yeah.
just took it as like evidence of his kind of self-centered personality.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He does that.
Yeah. But he's kakkoi, you know. So, he gets away with it.
Yeah. Well,
I
see,
thought the interesting choice of voice actor for his character because he's voiced by I can't remember his full name, but his I think his last name is Sugita. He's the
yeah.
same guy who provides the voice of Gintoki from Gintama,
All right.
the main character from Gintama. I think mostly he's known for comedic roles. Um,
And you know what? He actually provided a voice for Kion in Haruhi.
you're right. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Um, So now he's in this like weird mystery drama as the, I guess, male lead, perhaps.
Hmm.
We, we don't even know like what direction the show could go in. He might not end up being the main male character. I mean, he probably will, but
Yeah.
who knows what's in store?
Yeah, it's about romance, right? So it had to be him and her.
Well,
Hopefully.
probably, but maybe it'll lean more in the direction of like a mystery than a
Yep.
romance. But I mean,
Yep.
I'm on board for it being more romance focused, I guess. You know, the main characters are adults
Yep.
and they're
They
both
share the
hot.
kiss already.
So, hey, why not?
Yep. Yeah. All right. I put it first.
Right. Well, for me, it was number two.
Yep.
Um, but of course, you know, I do find it to be very promising,
Yep. Yep.
very
So I
cute.
think at the moment we have that show, and we have two other shows is Lazarus and Mono as second and third, and we
Mm-hmm.
got the Mobile Suit Gundam as number four. But like you said, if we watch other show and if we enjoy it, we can change the three shows that we're gonna review by the end of the season.
Yep. Yeah. There's plenty of interesting shows this season, I feel.
I agree.
You know, perhaps not as many as I originally had hoped for. I was thinking, like, man, there are going to be 15 masterpieces coming out. Uh, but yeah, there's a nice variety and
Yeah.
some good stuff at the top. So
Hmm.
hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah. All right. All right. Do you have any other notes before we close off the 2 hours podcast?
Yeah, I'm good. If it's been 2 hours, then we are out of here.
Yeah. Oh, I think we did well. So yes, guys, this is a really big season. So come out and watch some of these episodes. Just watch like a few big names. If you enjoy this show, watch more. If you have time. This is supposed to be one of the big season now. What we have in a while. So go crazy.
Go crazy. Wise words.
Yeah.
I will follow your advice.
So
Gonna
good.
watch lots of
And
anime, and we'll be back to talk about it in early July,
yeah,
late June,
or even
one of
or,
those.
or, or maybe sooner. So who knows? Let's see.
Yeah, and before that, we're also going to talk about some of our favorite anime. We're going to do a little bit of a recap, rewind,
Yeah.
our favorite anime of this decade so far.
Oh,
That'll be
that
coming next month, maybe 5 weeks or so.
yeah. That sounds so cool. All right. Up for that.
Yeah, that's when you'll
Janine.
hear from us next.
All right.
So I guess we'll see you then.
Bye for now, guys.
Bye bye.